Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello, and welcome to Where Energy Meets the Divine. Before we go to the phone lines and I start answering questions, which is a great joy of mine, so thank you for leaving a voicemail. You can visit energyintuitive.com and leave your voicemail there. You can also like and subscribe here so that you'll get new information when new podcasts or other videos that I make drop, which I will be working a lot on in the month of September. I'm recording this on September 4th, 2024. I think all the kids are back in school in the US. And so the streets are really quiet. When I was walking Charles this morning, I love when things change. I think change is beautiful. I actually inspired to have change in my own life. And so I like the seasons when they change. Like it's crisp outside. It's in the 60s early in the morning here in the Northwest. And it was really, really quiet because the kids had already gone off to school. I also love it when summer comes and the streets are filled with children riding their bikes and laughing and playing ball. It's fun to have change. And I wanted to bring up this topic today because I think it's important to talk about internal change. When you as an individual have had internal change, don't be surprised if other people aren't really comfortable with it. Because people are used to us presenting a certain vibration or frequency about what we believe in, about who we say that we are, the choices and decisions that we make. We have a pattern in our own energy system that says, oh, this is, let's say, for example, this is Marie. This is who she is. This is what she does. Sometimes when people meet me in public, just by accident, like walking my dog or at a store or a restaurant, people sometimes get surprised. And some people have said to me, you actually come out in public? So everybody has a persona about you based on how they read your energy. Now, family members and friends have a very unique perception of you. People that you've spent a lot of time with, even neighbors, if you're close to your neighbors, they think they understand you. They think they know you, and they've got it all printed out in their mind and their body and their awareness. And a lot of people are this way because they want to be in their own certain vibration when they hang out with you, when they spend time with you. They want to know what to expect. They want to know what the guidelines are. A lot of humans are not comfortable with creative expansion. They're not comfortable with change. They like to think they know how people are and how they're going to behave and how to present themselves with another person. So when you change from the inside, when you have done some inner work, maybe for the last few months, you've been working on healing some inner children. Maybe you've learned energy work and you're laying hands on yourself and your vibration is really high. Your frequency is really high. Maybe your life is getting better and it's easier. Maybe you healed something from a long time ago that casted like a gray cloud over your auric field and people connected with you based on that cloud of energy. Like maybe they were careful or they tiptoed around you or they behaved in a certain way. And now you have changed. You're no longer the person you were even last year, maybe even 6 months ago. People, when they do inner work, that means that they reevaluate their way of perceiving life and they change their perception so that they no longer think the way they used to. When you change the way that you think, that's going to change your energy system. Because what happens with humans, when humans continue to stay in the same thought processes, they will create what I often refer to as mind-made emotions. And energy runs in the body based on what we're feeling. So if we're hyper-focusing on our mind-made emotions, which are usually created from fear, doubt, anxiety, worry, a belief that we're not going to fit in, a lot of older soul types over-compromise, over-give, over-care, don't ask for what they want. So a lot of their friends and family don't even know them very well. I mean, they know them as the giver, the caretaker, but they may not know them as the individual and their own personal needs and desires. And they may not listen to them when they communicate those because they are used to reading your energy. And it can take a while for other people to learn your new energy pattern, to put it into their belief system, and to change the way they connect with you. But regardless of someone changes or not, or accepts your new energy or not, your job is to stay in alignment with the new you. So we're talking about this because it may be a little uncomfortable. People are going to feel weird around you, or surprised by things that you say, or shocked by the new choices you're making. And those are actually all really good signs that you're on the right track. You are making excellent progress. I think it's important for humans, especially older soul types, to stop worrying about what other people think about them, to stop caring about what other people think about them. Because once we get back in this old pattern of people pleasing, which is a very common denominator in old soul types, then we retract from the progress we've made. So the beginning of you changing your energy, which others have to learn about, which is really their business, not yours, right? That's their job, not yours. We all calibrate our energy different. As children grow, we go, oh, well, they're 5 now, or they're 7, they're riding a bike. They don't have training wheels on their bike anymore. Or now they're in school all day. So humans have no problem adjusting their energy and their vibration as children grow. We have this expectation that they're going to be different. We're happy about that. We want that to occur, and we're willing as individuals to recalibrate our own subatomic particles to connect to children as they change. So we need to do that with everyone, because honestly, people shouldn't stop growing once they graduate from high school. Sometimes that could be where the real internal growth begins, when there's, stability within the hormonal changes of a human as well. But also when we're not surrounded every single day by our family of origin, that gives us more permission and makes it easier for us to start to change our perceptions of self, which changes our energy because we change our emotional connection. We probably become more authentic with the authentic emotional body versus the mind-made emotional system. And so the energy is going to change. So I'm telling you all this again because I want you to stay connected to yourself, please, and be okay with other people not being okay with who you are becoming. It most likely will be temporary. They're going to like you eventually again, because they just have to reroute their own energy system. And you might have to remind them, oh yeah, I don't do that anymore. Or, oh yeah, I like this now. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. You just might have to give them a heads up about whom you are now and whom you're becoming, which is great. That's fine. That's lovely that you know yourself well enough and you're able to communicate that to the people that you spend time with, so that they know, yeah, you don't drink coffee anymore, and you go to bed at a really healthy time, and you only hang out with healthy people. I was recently, just this past weekend, I went to listen to Esther Hicks in San Diego, who I love. And I was standing in line, with a bunch of other people waiting to get our seats. And these are all people I didn't know, and they didn't know me. And we were talking about Esther Hicks and how some of our friends, their friends, have never heard of Esther Hicks or would never want to be a part of that. And I said, oh, wow. And one of the people said, well, don't you have people in your life who would never listen to someone like Esther Hicks? And I said, yeah, no, I don't. And it's not because I have a rule, you have to like spirituality or someone like Esther Hicks. I just gravitate and attract people in my life who are interested in positive transformation and change. So it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for you to have your vibration unique and more of an authentic representation of your authentic self. As people heal, they become more authentic and they start giving away their people pleasing over caring for others. They start to stay in alignment with what's in their best interest, which is healthy. But not everyone will like it at first, but they'll adjust to it. And if they don't, that's okay too. Just be aware that when those things start to happen, if they do, you're on the right track. You've made so much change. They are shocked by what you say and who you are. That's a good sign. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the phone lines. And yeah.
Hello, Marie. My name is Manuchehri. I live in the Netherlands, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to ask you a question. So, my question is, I've always been very much so interested in spirit guides, in angels, in mediumship, but I also always had a huge fear around it. I even started having panic attacks in church from the age of 13 on. And I've worked for years and years to overcome this fear, and I really feel I have. But I'm 50 now, and what do you know? Now skepticism kicks in. I'm starting to get these nudges and these signs and these very vivid dreams, and
Hmm.
immediately my brain goes, "Oh, you're making that up." I'm so frustrated with myself. I really feel like I should be on this path. I'm so interested in this path. I'm always reading about
Right.
it. I'm always learning about it, and yet as soon as it starts happening, I shut it off. So I'm so confused. What is happening? Any advice, any guidelines, I would really appreciate it. And thank you for helping people this way. It's so interested, and have a wonderful day, and thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much for calling in and leaving your question. I think I would have been scared too if I were in church when I was 13. My parents left the church when we were quite young. I'm the oldest of five. I believe I was five at the time. I think the only first three kids are baptized Roman Catholic. The other two are not. So I would have been freaking out. I think that's an appropriate response, actually. You know, when we look at conservative type religion, it's not very supportive of humanity. It's certainly not supportive of women. And I believe religious texts around the world, I mean, it's true. It's not just that I believe it, it happens to be true, have been translated many, many times over hundreds of thousands of years, only by men, typically. And we are, you know, we are more than men and women, and we are beings of light. So I think your response was excellent when you were 13. What you have maybe not realized is that fear is an illusion. So whenever we have fearful thoughts, it means we're dancing with our ego. And I believe the word ego and fear are synonymous. They mean the same thing. We are meant to love, adore, and cherish ourselves, which is not the true, definition or worry of ego, that we're going to like ourselves too much. We're going to put ourselves on a too high of a pedestal. Like, that's healthy and normal to love oneself. When you start to feel afraid, just be kind to you. Say, sweetheart, I'm sorry you're feeling this way. I love you so much. It's okay. Everything's fine. Just nurture yourself. That's all you have to do. Just nurture yourself. And I think the fear will become less and less. Whenever I become afraid of anything, I know I'm stepping in my ego, and I comfort myself, and then poof, it vanishes, and I'm back into alignment with my full self. That was a great question. I hope that it works quickly for you and you can enjoy the multisensory world, maybe even professionally, if that's something you would like to do.
Hello, Mary. Can you give me some guidance regarding love? Maybe a soulmate who is my present landlord. I would like to know whether I should stay in this place I'm renting him or move.
Huh. Okay. I would suggest changing your energy. And this is Quadria, I believe is her name. I'm sorry if I'm not saying it correctly. I would raise your energy before you pick a partner or allow one to come into your life and before you move. So that means get really happy about regular things all day long. Even change can be something that people can truly get happy about. And then visit dating, think about moving. But what happens if we're not content where we are or what's happening in our lives, if we do something to become more content, like we move, or we change partners, but we haven't changed the vibration inside of our body, we're probably going to have the same outcome. We're not going to be as content or fulfilled about the person we've chosen or the place we now have moved to. So that'll be critical, is to change your energy. Get authentically happy, return to that place of joy over and over again. Then make those choices. You can have a partner, you can certainly move, but let's go ahead and change our energy first. That will be 1,000 times more effective. 1,000 times more effective. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Valerie, and I live on Lake Burien in Washington. I have a really important question that I'm prayerfully considering, and I thought I'd ask you for your expert advice. I have a fractured back, and I've tried many things over the years. Doctors at Swedish put cement in my back, and I've had a lot of surgeries. My current doctor would now like to put a spinal cord stimulator in my back to relieve the pain, and I'm going back and forth on whether I should put more hardware in my body.
Yeah.
I did an 8-day trial for the stimulator, and it provided some relief, but now I have to make a decision on whether I should have it installed permanently along with the battery pack that they put under your skin, either in your back or your rear end, and switch it out every 10 years. So I just wanted to see if you have any advice on whether I should have this installed. I'm kind of running out of options for pain relief, but also don't want to make a decision that I will regret later. Thank you so much for your time, Marie. I love you, cherish everything you do, and love to listen to your wisdom and advice. Have a great day.
Thank you, Valerie. I love you too very much. I'm so sorry you're having to go through this. I mean, thank goodness you can have a life with a fractured spine and not have paralysis. So there are many good things for us to celebrate. I'm not recommending what your doctor wants to do with the battery pack and all, at least not. I mean, it's great to have options. Like modern medicine has a lot of options for us. I realize you're in a different percentage of options than most people in their health issues, but you have an option. I would recommend that you do near infrared and red light therapy. It's actually great for bones and tissues. That's what I would recommend, that you do that. I love platinum therapy the best, but Red Rush is also a great product. One of the reasons why those two products are so good, beside the fact that they're FDA approved, they cover deeper than most products and wider than most products. And they give off the least amount of UV light, which we don't need more UV light on our skin on Earth. It's not necessary for us. So that's what I would do. Energetically, the spine is about being stubborn. It's about truly about not aligning to your own will, or I should say the will of the divine, which is our true authentic will, is our connection to the universe and the creation. So I would do automatic writing, meditate often, do things to help you get out of the logical path of thinking and into the more mystical, fun path of being. I think that would be a great idea. Yes, and I hope it helps. Let me know. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Michelle, and I'm calling from Michigan. My question for you is, my father died when I was 16 months old. He was murdered, so it was, kind of a quick and tragic event that was, very difficult for everyone around him. But anyway, since then, I realize now that he's been with me my entire life and actually, goodness gracious, helping me along more than he probably could have had he been here on Earth. But I heard a caller earlier talking about reincarnation with souls, who haven't been gone that long. So he's been gone now for, goodness, 50, 52, 53 years. And I'm wondering if you can tell if he has reincarnated. Anyway, thanks for your help. I appreciate it. Bye.
Great question. I'm sorry about your dad's passing at such a young age. So you didn't get to know him in the physical realm. He has not reincarnated. He's waiting for you. So he's going to wait a while until you cross over. And then he said he wants to spend time with you, flying around, and other family members, and then make a decision collectively as your Earth family. Do any of you want to reincarnate again, and how soon? Most souls wait anywhere between 50 and 100 years, which I believe you brought up. Some souls are coming back sooner because Earth is really quite busy and interesting and interactive. So no, he's still in the heavens. But even when people have reincarnated, their soul, spirit, energy from whatever lifetime you've had with them exists on the other side, but it just feels different. So when someone's reincarnated, I can still communicate with that spirit about that recent lifetime, but a fair amount of their energy is back on Earth. Because when beings are in other dimensions on the other side that are non-physical, they allow their energy to be fully available when speaking to a medium. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Yeah, and I'm glad you realized he's been with you all along. That's exactly what he would hope that you have experienced. All right, thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Greg from Atlanta, Georgia. Today, my question is about my father. He has some benign brain tumors at the moment that are causing him some seizures.
Right.
They did some radiation treatment on him a month ago, and so I am trying to understand what possible things I can do for him. We've had a private session one time. I've been in a couple of your shift network classes. I've read your book. I'm on the second time of reading Barbara Brennan's book. That's a lot of information there. And so I'm trying to figure out what to do, if there's anything I can do, if this is just his path. I'm certainly fine with that, but I also just want to know if there's something that I should be doing to help him or just be there for him. I've also lately started sketching spiritual portraits and even showed them to my mother and father, who were raised Southern Baptist, and even that was a little bit too woo for them. So I'm not sure what is an option, but I thought I would just ask. So anyway, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Greg, and I'm so sorry about your dad's diagnosis. What some people don't know, but obviously you do know, Greg, is that even benign brain tumors, if they keep growing or multiplying, like in this case, they can be just as problematic as cancerous brain tumors, unfortunately. And it's hard in modern medicine to get currently, although they're changing, to get chemicals through the blood-brain barrier and affect cancerous or benign masses at this time. Brain tumors are about denial, as is epilepsy, Alzheimer's. Anything to do with the brain is about being in some form of denial. So there's something in your dad's life that's been a big part of his life that he has looked at from not a way that is in alignment with who he is. Right? So we don't all have to believe in the same thing, but we all may have a perception that our soul wants us to encounter and connect with. And some people fight that. It could be about religion, of course, could be about a relationship, could it be about our work that we've done in the world. Some people have devoted many decades of their life to works that they don't even like or enjoy, and they would never even buy the product that they're helping to produce. So that's a problem. That's a big thing of denial. A lot of people do that, unfortunately. So you could start talking to your dad about things that he might have denied if you want to. Hopefully it's not about religion, because if the spiritual pictures which you showed me during our session, which were beautiful, are problematic, then he's probably not ready to change some of his religious beliefs. But perhaps there are some things within maybe a more conservative form of religion that he'd be willing to change. Like, there isn't a hell, and all beings are equally loved, adored, and cherished. This is your dad's thing anyway. Like, we create circumstances unconsciously so that we could become more conscious to help us grow and change. So, look at it this way, that this is your dad's thing. He unconsciously created this in his body for good reasons too. Everything in our life has good and positive reasons in it. Not all of them are negative. The other thing that could be helpful, I know I just mentioned red light therapy, and I like near infrared and red light in combination. Now, they aren't cleared for cancer, although his growths are non-cancerous. So maybe talk to his physicians about the near infrared and red light therapy to see if they would think that it was perfectly fine that he had some of these really incredible healing lasers into his brain. I think that would be a great question to ask your dad if he would be interested in that, like 10 minutes a day, sitting in front of one of the panels. And then, of course, ask his physicians if they think that would be a good option for him, or if they feel that it wouldn't cause harm. I don't think it will, but I think it's a great question to ask the doctors. Okay, I hope that's helpful, and I hope that you and your mom and your dad just have fun together and enjoy each other, because that's what's most important above all things. All right.
Hi, Marie. My name is Eileen. I love your work and your energy. I've taken several of your amazing courses through your private community and the Shift Network. Thank you for sharing all your gifts and talents with the world. Over the past 20 years, I've had a relatively peaceful life, and I've been successful at manifesting many wonderful things, including loving relationships, teaching opportunities, travel, 2 book deals that I only dreamed of earlier in my life.
Wow.
I don't want to focus on negativity or trauma dump, but in the last year and 2 months, I've experienced a great deal of hardship. My now ex-husband was involved in a hit and run accident that involved the death of a woman in our community. He's now serving a 7-year prison sentence. He had no history of criminal behavior prior to this. Then our daughter was hit by a drunk driver on the exact same road where my ex-husband's accident took place. My dog was diagnosed with a progressive and fatal illness called Fanconi syndrome and kidney failure after ingesting contaminated dog biscuits that were given to her in a gift basket. And a few weeks ago, 2 trees fell into my home, doing damage to the roof and windows. So I've recently moved to a new location and really working on grounding and elevating my vibration. But last week I woke up and I had a droopy eyelid. I was hospitalized with severe weakness and trouble breathing. And I was given a diagnosis of myasthenia gravis. So I don't want to focus on negativity, but I'd really appreciate it if you could read my energy and, most importantly, share some potential strategies to help me increase my vibration, to get back on a healing, joyful path that I was on. I've been using your what if questions. I had a fairly traumatic childhood, but over the past 3 decades, I've really focused on living in joy. Not quite sure why things are going this way, but most importantly, I'd appreciate any words of wisdom that you could provide on how I can really get back to living a more grounded and joyful life. So thank you for sharing words of wisdom that could help me and any other listener who may be experiencing a similar cycle of events that appear to be negative. Thank you, Marie.
Thank you, Eileen. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened to you. Mostly the disease process, the viral kind of problem. That one we'll talk about, of course. But everything else, souls make all their decisions about when they're going to leave Earth, like your dog. So even though I will be very upset if Charles leaves Earth before me, which he most likely will, I was just, from a young age, I've just looked at death from a very, very different perspective in terms of honoring soul's decisions. So if for some terrible reason something like that happened to Charles and he left the planet, I would know that it was his time to go, that he wanted to leave his body. So all of these things are about letting go, probably something you're not good at, and most likely something your soul wants you to get perfect at. Like what happened with your ex-husband, that was because of his own behavior and the choices that he made. And he wasn't good at making good choices for a long time in his life. I know because of what you said, he didn't have, a history of arrest, but he did other things that showed that he didn't really care about other people. And I think he has a little bit of narcissism in his energy system. And sometimes it's hard to see the selfishness in a person who has some of those qualities because they have a very charming, sometimes outgoing personality. But that's really about him. It has nothing to do with you. So that has a lot to do with letting go, like learning to let go when other people have experiences that have nothing to do with you. The funny part of me says, do not let anybody in that family drive on that road again. I'm sorry your daughter was in an accident. Luckily, no serious injuries from what I can see. And kids get in accidents sometimes. Unfortunately, I know when all of our kids were driving, cars were in and out of shops and one got totaled. Luckily, nobody got seriously hurt. But yeah, I know the kid's dad and myself were like, okay, we have to get another car. Uh-oh. Or this one has to go in the shop. So it's not like a super unusual thing to happen. But again, it's showing me how hard it is for you to let go. Trees can fall on houses if people don't pay attention to their property line. I have a lot of trees by my house, and I ask the HOAs every 2 to 3 years to come out and check the huge trees that are close to my home, because things can change. There's a lot of construction going on the other road that, comes against this property. So those things can happen too. Learning to let go, which means that it isn't about you. Like even the trees falling on your house, if it is your responsibility to make sure that the land is functioning correctly and trees are safe, that is your responsibility, but it's not really about hurting you. Luckily, nobody was hurt, which is amazing and wonderful. Things can be replaced, like homes, cars, all of those things are replaceable. Every single one of those things. So letting go, I would love for you to use that what if question. What if I'm learning to let go? What if letting go is easy? What if this isn't about me and you stop taking things personally? I think this is what led to that virus that you experienced with your immune system, because you have felt responsible for everyone, not just the personal people in your life, but everyone, your readers, everyone. And you're not. Everyone's responsible for their own life. Just like you have to check out the trees on your property, and you will in the future, or your new house probably doesn't have any big trees next to it. You're like, oh no, we're not getting big trees by the house. Forget that. So everything's really fine. I think, again, the virus is just from you trying to take care of everything and everyone and make everything okay. It's not your job. You're fired from that job. And your real job is to allow people to have their own experiences and to love you no matter what, and to let go. I hope that's helpful. I really do. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Catherine from the Seattle area, and I am calling to find out a little bit from you on a mediumship reading. My mom passed away a little over 2 years ago, and it was somewhat unexpected. It was very much unexpected, but in retrospect, we can see some signs. And since her passing, I've definitely experienced a lot of grief. Aww. And I have received a lot of signs, and that has been really wonderful. And so I'm very grateful for that. My mom was fantastic, one of my besties, and she was a great person and just a wonderful mom. So I'm so grateful. I am curious a lot around anything coming through from her related to my career. I have recently started a podcast, and I work in the healing arts. Yay. And enjoy what I do. I just am curious if there's anything in particular in that realm that you're hearing from her. Wow. So thank you for any insights that you may have. Thank you for the work you do. I really enjoy your work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I'm very sorry about your mom's passing, and I'm thrilled for your new work. So people on the other side, when they talk to mediums, they sometimes show them pictures of even their own life. So your mom showed me something about my dad. My dad was not in our lives when we were growing up. Probably shouldn't have had kids, didn't really know how to have kids. And he had, his own weird stuff. So my mother raised us on her own, and we would see my dad once every 5 years or something like that. But this is what your mother wants me to tell you. So when I turned my late 30s is when I moved into energy work and mediumship and all of that fun stuff professionally. My father found out about it somehow and wrote me and told me how proud he was of me and how much he loved me. It was really quite a remarkable experience. I, emailed him some yelling emails for about 3 months. And he finally said, okay, don't yell at me anymore. So this is your mother showing us, because my father passed away maybe 20 years ago, somewhere around there. So I don't think about this moment often in time, but your mother brought it to my head, like an airplane landing in my brain, showing me this moment where my dad was just so incredibly proud of me. He studied astrology and the Kabbalah. He was an artist, and later in life, he became a really good artist, in my opinion. So your mom is over the moon proud of you. Shocked, because my dad was shocked. I don't know why he was shocked, because our family was, my mom raised us with mysticism as an option, a valid option to explore. So, but he was surprised, but very complimentary and extremely loving to me because of my profession. Like, he felt like he could trust me, or he knew me. He wanted to get to know me. So your mother wants to get to know you even deeper because you're different than she thought. She's over the moon excited. Over the moon excited. Congratulations. It's great news. Although I'm not surprised. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Marie. Thank you so much for your help. I am a medium in training and have been training for a couple of years, and I actually am currently doing your Shift Network multisensory classes, and I'm really enjoying those. My question is, I am very clairaudient and clairvisual, and sometimes have claircognizance, but my clairsentience just does not seem to be developing. I have made it my intention for this to become stronger, my clairsentience, and have yet to really feel emotions or physical sensations very often.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if this is intentional.
Yes.
And I'm meant to serve in some capacity where I will not need as much clairsentience as a medium.
Yeah.
I was just curious about your insights into this. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, Jean, and thanks for taking that class. We're in now September of 2024, and that class ended several months ago. It was on the Shift Network. I think it was 12 weeks, I believe. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, but I love to teach. So I have to teach a lot of people who have a very strong clairsentient response to actually learn to become neutral, because it blocks a lot of their auditory sensations and their clairvoyant sensation, because they're over feeling everything. And the universe thinks that everything's great. So the universe, when it feels, everything feels great. When we're in neutrality, it feels fine. There's nothing wrong. So you're obviously doing great. You have visions, you have auditory sensations. Know that the universe might use a clairsentient tool, because anyone who has strong auditory sensations has all the clairs. The universe might use a clairsentient tool if you're ignoring a vision or you're ignoring an auditory sensation. When I first began to lay hands on people, I could feel all of their pain in their body. I could feel all of the pain in their body. Excuse me. So that's actually not good. That would stop me. It was fun in the beginning. I loved it, because I would go, oh my gosh, do you have pain in your feet? And they'd go, yes. I'm like, wow. So I loved it because it was very validating. I was already a pretty strong clairvoyant. But as I raised my vibration and it got higher and higher, my clairsentient feelings of people's physical pain dissipated. But I would have the knowingness, which is claircognizance, that, oh, there's something wrong with their feet, but I wouldn't feel it in my own feet, because that's actually not something we want healers to experience over and over again, or mediums. We don't want them to feel the crash of a vehicle when someone dies over and over again. We don't want them to feel the stab of a knife that took someone's life over and over again. We don't want that, because that's actually affecting their physical body. It could be putting them in fear, anxiety. Humans have a lot of things in relationship with their awareness of their physical form. So I'm just saying, yeah, everything's fine. Don't worry about it. You just want to get information. That's all that matters. And you do. You get the information. It's all perfectly fine. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. This is Michael. So my question is, I've always known and I've always felt protected, safe, secure, and just I've always felt that there's a lot of energy around me. There's a lot of guidance around me, and I really love right now to be able to actually see something more than just feel. Now I know it may be that I don't need to do that, but I'd love to do it. I'd just love to experience physically seeing some energy, hearing some guides, because I feel them all the time. But I'd like to actually hear a voice. I had a visualization recently where I met a guide, but I'd like to understand what else can I do or should I be doing right now more than what I'm doing. My gut feeling is that I just keep doing what I'm doing. But I'd like to know if there's anything else that I can do apart from more meditation. I'd be interested to hear if you have any kind of message for me. Thank you once again. Have a great day. So much love to you. And thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Michael, and tons of love to you. And congratulations for the experiences you are having. You have to get neutral. Being in the clairsentient aspect all the time doesn't always create neutrality. Similar to the last caller's question in a way, but in reverse. You know, she would like to have more clairsentient. I'm saying that's okay. That's enough clairs. And you would love to have more clairs. I think true desires, and I think yours is a true desire, are meant to be created. I don't think they're there just for, kicks and giggles. I actually think they're there for really good reasons. So even when I start to feel something, so I like to feel too, but I don't make it my whole experience. When I'm working with clients, for an example, if I start to feel something on the left-hand side of my body, it means I'm going to start to witness, which I will visually and auditorily, past lives. Their past lives, ones that need to have what I consider a shift in perception. So when a past life is ended, when a lifetime is ended and it becomes a past life, it moves into a hologram because it no longer exists. And when souls have not healed or changed their perception about a previous lifetime, sometimes that hologram remains active, especially when we come into the physical reality, interesting enough. So when I start to feel something happening, which happens in probably 20% of the people I work with, so it's not even 50% of the people that I work with do I feel their past lives. Interesting. So when I start to feel it, I know something's opening up. I literally begin to, through my peripheral vision, begin to notice as if the dimension is opening from the third dimensional space so I can get access into this previous lifetime. But I don't let myself stay in the clairsentient because I know it's actually going to decrease my visions and my auditory sensation because my body's going to start to be affected by the feeling aspect of it. And that will shut me down or lessen the experience. And again, there's nothing wrong with being clairsentient, but it can be overwhelming. And I want to get a lot of information in a short period of time so I can communicate it with my clients and do the work I need to do. So I start to feel it. And then what I do is I don't have to move my head to see clairvoyantly. I just start to use a visual aspect so I can start to see and hear the story that I need to hear. And so I can do the work I need to do. One of the ways you can do this, because even though the third eye is in the brain, it's not where clairvoyance originates from. Clairvoyance originates from the second layer of the auric field, if you will, in the emotional response system. But real emotions are calm. They're not intense. They're very calm. So start resting in the lower half of your body. And at the same time, think of your third eye like a camera that's going to project images to you. And just like in my case, I will just ask that the camera moves over to my left so I can then move into the openness that I was able to feel through my clairsentient vibration of my body so that I can then start to visually move into the past life and begin to see what happened based on this soul's perception. So get out of your head, rest in the lower half of your body, but then in this detachment, allow the third eye to be a camera for you, a lens that you can direct any which way you wish. So to answer your question even more directly, Michael, don't let the clairsentient get too big. Let it be a part of your experience so that your other clairs can move forward. Okay, well, those were really fun questions. Great questions. Thank you, everyone, for calling in. I wish you a beautiful day. Joyful blessings. Bye-bye.